Rainollon here. Today's another build showcase, and it's the Tenet Envoy. So let us immediately start. Let's start with the mods first. The mods I'm using on my Tenet Envoy. I'm using Prime Cryo Rounds for critical damage, Hammer Shot for critical damage instead of chance, Critical Delay for critical chance, lowers your fire rate. It's not a big of a deal for this weapon. Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, Vital Sense for critical damage, Radiated Reload for radiation damage and reload speed. This thing really needs reload speed, so this helps it a ton. Serration for increased damage, and Prime Firestorm for blast radius. This weapon's blast radius is 8 meters, with Prime Firestorm it goes up to 11.5 meters, which is quite good. For the Exos weapon adaptive slot mods, I will highly recommend going for Vigilant Supplies for enhancing your crits and also ammo economy. For the Arcane, Primary Merciless. On kill you get 30 increased damage for 4 seconds, stacks at 12 times, 30 times 12, 360% increased damage, and also plus 30% reload speed, which helps this weapon a ton. The passive is quite interesting. Aim to guide mid-air rockets. If you played like Half-Life 1 and 2, it's pretty much that, which is quite nice. Reloads 10% of the magazine per second while holstered, so if you don't use the weapon at all, use your secondary or melee, it's slowly like reloading, which is also solid. It's a Tenet weapon, so you have to kill your Tenet sister. The element chosen is Toxin, and Cold gives you Viral, which is quite nice. The stats, the fire rate looks extremely slow, but it's fine for this weapon type. Magazine size is quite good. Maximum ammo is not the greatest, but it has a really good ammo from pickup, which is absolutely solid. Reload speed is slow. Even if you use the primed fast hand, I think it's called. Yeah, fast hand. It goes up to 2.2, but this gives you more damage, and it's just like 0.2 is nothing. Generally nothing. Accuracy very high, automatic, punch through 0, it's an AoE. Ribbon display is horrible, I will not recommend. Critical chance is fine for this weapon type. Crit multi is really good, stash chance is fine. Total damage on the direct hit is solid, but this weapon is an AoE weapon, so it explodes in an 11.5 meter radius, doing pretty solid overall damage with 80% fall off, which is nothing. So overall the stats for the Tenet Envoy are really good. This is something I highly recommend going for Toxin. Use this to get yourself viral. You will do a ton of damage. Have a massive AoE that will clear. And yeah, that's pretty much it here. That's the passive, the mods, the Arcane. And it's time for me to show you this weapon in game. So let's start. Alright, finally. We're inside the mission. I'm going to show you this weapon against the Steel Path, corrupted enemies, at the mission called Ani, Void, Survival. The enemy density here is high, and that's very, very good for AoE weapons. It's all about the clear. And I'm going to show you without buffs or armor strip. Later on, I'm going to use buffs and armor strip against the Acolyte and other enemies. Boom. It's overall right now, without any buffs or armor strip, it's like clearing really well. The weapon's fire rate is maybe one of the worst in the entire game. It's like 0.6. It's really bad. Even without critical delay, it's still really bad. So fixing the fire rate is something that I will not recommend. Maybe you can utilize some kind of fast Warframe. But if you aren't using a fast Warframe, just get used to the horrible fire rate on this weapon. When it comes to clear and damage, this is solid. The radiated reload generally saves this weapon a ton, giving it damage and reload speed. There is another mod, a prime mod called Fast Hand, which reduces your reload speed by 55%, which is 50% more. But I will not recommend it. The reason why is it's just 0.2 seconds faster. You lose damage, and the radiated reload gives you damage, and it uses less capacity, which is nothing on Tenet weapons, but still. You need to jam as much increased damage on these style weapons, so your AoE scales. The Eximus units are dying really fast. I'm waiting for heavy gunners and other tanky enemies to spawn. Eximus units are tanky. But I need consistently tanky enemies, like consistently spawning enemies like heavy gunners and bombards. My cat is priming, but most of these enemies did die in 1 or 2 taps. The ammo economy, I was like, should I use ammo drum? No. I think Vigilant Supplies is like more than enough, especially enhancing your crits. You technically can utilize the projectile mod, increase your projectile speed. You can if you want it, but I will not recommend. I think this weapon's projectile speed is absolutely fine. The passive is kind of an interesting gimmick, like can aim your rockets, as you can see. If you play like Half-Life 1 and 2, it's pretty much that. They really like Half-Life. There are plenty of Half-Life style weapons in this game. And there's also Gordon Freeman in Warframe 1999. So there's a bunch of Half-Life references. Even if this weapon doesn't look anything like a Half-Life weapon. Especially the rocket launcher. Another thing what saves this weapon a ton is the ammo from pickup. 4 ammo from pickup is quite good. I wish other AoE weapons had the exact same thing. Like the Brahma and Tsar. They kinda suffer a lot from having a massive nerf on the maximum ammo and having a horrible ammo from pickup. Let me use some buffs now. So Ember isn't the greatest buffer, but she still can give me some increased damage. Numbers are slightly different. Heavy gunner. I will not directly shoot it on the side. Yep, that is solid damage. Two taps to kill a heavy gunner. Up, we have the Acolyte. That's nice. It's very soonish, but that's good. Gets violence. I will use some armor strip on him. 1, 2. I missed. He did turn off. Oh, 1 tap. I think he turned off my Nourish. Yeah, he turned off Nourish, but he didn't turn off my first ability. So I did do 270% more damage to him. Increased damage. But overall, the weapon is good. It's usable, especially with a clear Warframe. I think Mirage will like this thing. Siren, Mag might like this. I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't believe so. Maybe Punch through. No, it's locked. Never mind. But overall, the weapon is good. Let me just extract, talk a little bit more, and I'll be right back. And we done so. That was a Tenet Envoy. It's good. I think the clear is good. Single target is bad, like every other AoE weapon. But for like 90% of the content, the single target isn't really bad. For that 10%, you're definitely going to switch for something else, of course, like the Kuva Lich and Tenet Sister and the Arcane fight and other stuff. We have like tankier enemies like Fragmented One and the tank boss, and who knows what in the future we're going to get. Is definitely not going to be good there. But for like clearing ads and doing like regular star chart and early stage of Steel Path, everything below like 200, I will say, it's really good. If you want to do higher level content like EDA and stuff, 200 plus, I will say, you will definitely need a buffer to buff the weapon to do more damage, or use Armor Stripper. Overall, the weapon is good. I highly recommend, and I hope you enjoy, and my build as well. Thank you everybody for watching yet again, and see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.